Yeah. So what are you saying anyway? So you're doing that with the bag, yeah?
You want
Yeah.
to? Sorry, just trying to get this shared.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm fucking the same myself. Yeah. So what are you saying anyway? So you're doing that with the bag, yeah?
There we go.
Right.
2 seconds, folks.
Well, there you just have to deal with it across all platforms. Where are we? Uh, where? Wait. Throw it into Facebook for all you heads. Beautiful.
Lunsky.
So, Red, anyway, you were saying, yeah, just to train the home and all, it's a cunt, isn't it?
Yeah, being fat is so much easier than not being fat or trying not to be fat. Um, I don't know how you all do it. I tip my hat to you skinny fuckers because, yeah, maybe just my age as well. I don't know. Um, but yeah, shit's tough. So I'm doing like fucking high intensity training, as suggested by Key Cody. Shout out to Key Cody, um, and eating less portions and having a takeaway in ages. Haven't had a joint in maybe 2.5 weeks. But I'm getting a bag away tomorrow. Fuck that. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But like, the belly's gone down. The human body is mental. So the first I've lost, I don't know, I've lost pounds, and then this week after doing a whole week, the hardest I've gained 2 pounds. I don't know how. Like the human body is just mad. I think it's something to do with the metabolisms and shit like that and all, or my body's gone into fucking shock or something. I don't know. But I'll just keep
It'll be
plodding away.
water retention, or you'll find that,
Well, I have been drinking a lot more water.
yeah,
Like
you find
I'm drinking
the
like 2 liters a day.
Well, the first week, your body probably gave up a lot of water, and now it's retaining water. You know what I mean? You get a lot of that as well.
Yeah,
And the other thing is, if you are weight training, like muscle weighs more than fat. Now, that would be unlikely that'd be a very quick process. But yeah, if you put on more muscle and lose a bit of fat, you can tend to weigh a bit heavier. Like,
well, my belly's definitely shrunk. It has. I know. It's actually because she was saying to me for like a good fucking even since last week. There's a difference, and I literally noticed it this morning. And I walked into the Jacks this morning, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Actually, I actually
where you
noticed.
can
I was
see
like,
your
"Oh
balls
shit!"
for the first time, and
Yeah, I can see my dick. I can see. I'd rather not see it. Like, but yeah, fucking. But yeah, no, I noticed it. Just looked in the mirror. I was like, "Oh holy shit!" I can actually. It's and even walking. Like the thing about it is that I'm a lot more limber now and nimble. So like I can touch my toes again. Couldn't do that 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Like I feel looser and fucking
mad,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. But at the same
I've been
time,
fucked over by this lockdown because I was hitting the gym every day. I had a good routine. Um, since we've gone into lockdown, because my knee is fucked. So as soon as I start jogging on concrete, it might not necessarily, my knee will start hurting, but then my ankle will start hurting me, my hip will start hurting me just on that side, just from,
yeah.
when you're running and it starts to hurt, you'll probably miss a line to try and take the pain out. So that fucks me over. I've no space in the gaff to fucking train. I've a bit of space in the car park downstairs. I think I might go down there with the skipping rope and shit like that, but I've been well and truly fucked over because with this weather, I used to just get up and go down, jump in the gym, like, and you'd be fucking grand. Like, now I'm looking outside going, will I go for a jog? I'm sore. My knees hurt me. It's raining. it's early. You know what I mean? So,
but one thing with me is like I even said it to Keith when he was on to me. I was like, just to let you know, running is not happening. Like never liked it. Never
yeah, no,
even playing football.
To be honest, I like tomorrow. I'm gonna stick my boots on and go for a run on the grass. But by the time, like with being in work, it's too early in the morning. It's still dark out. All the parks are shut, and by the time I get home, it's too dark. And you know what I mean. You're running in the dark in grass. You'll kill yourself. You know what I mean. So it's
don't be killing yourself because I'll be forced to make a dedication track. I don't want to rap anymore either. Like I'd rather run than make a dedication track.
Man, gems I found. That's all I'd say. Gems I found.
Is there more stuff there? Is there?
Man, I went deep sea diving into the archives. I'll say no more.
Send me some stuff because even that yoke you did with Johnny Darko, when you sent it on to me there, the master version, and I stuck it in the van on the way home, and like obviously the death metal track, obviously I remember that because I had that stored on my phone, the original version, not that version, and so I knew my bar. Well, not knew them, but it was there was no shocks. But then listening to the other stuff, I was like, man, I didn't remember any of it. And I'm usually decent at like, I remember all your stuff. Do you know what I mean? I remember all your verses, but I didn't even remember your verses on them. So I was like, fucking hell, this shit.
Yeah, I was going through some stuff and I found a few gems, where I was like, Jeeves, did we release that? Is that out? He's like, no, he's like the patent office. You know what I mean? Has anyone patented this track yet? No, it hasn't been released yet. So I've been, because they're on the Cubase 3 format, so I've to save them into Cubase 5 and then to reassign all the plugins. So it's a slow process. So it's more finding them and saving them and going, right, I'll come back to these. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of praying for lockdown because there's going to be a Red Eye album, there's going to be another Class A's album, there's going to be, you know what I mean? Loads of shit there. Loads of red verses that I'm just going to tap on a little verse on the end or something. Yeah, no, all shit there. Anyway,
well, me versa, a Sue versa, as they say.
Yeah,
do it. They will. Carte blanche.
We've missed fucking weeks of this. A couple of weeks of this.
I don't care. Villa have basically just retired at this stage. Like Sunday match against Everton is off now on Sunday as well.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, they got another match off. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, the league's gonna be fucked in terms of games and all, isn't it? Like Spurs and Fulham kind of got fucked over, didn't they? Because it was meant to be Spurs and Villa, wasn't it? And they kind of changed it last minute to be Spurs and Fulham, and they were both kind of giving out, saying like if we'd have known we had the match, we'd have played different teams or whatever, you know.
Yeah, different tactics, or whatever.
Anyway, this one's a couple of weeks back. I don't know what day.
I think we checked this already, didn't we? No, we
don't know. Anyway, got Palace right, Norwich right result. I think the Brentford Bristol game, I think that was voided, and I think it was wrong.
This is the one, though. This is the one. I won't. I'll be able to just get Lipo with the money that we went on this one.
Lipo, yeah. Fuck this shit. Personal trainer, someone to come in and do the running for me.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit there eating a chip or what this sucker all out me. Like.
Bionic knees is what I'm after, lads. Anyone in the market. Leeds, Brighton. Leeds is a crisis. 3-0 by Crawley. Or is it just a case of the cup?
Yeah, I think it's just the cup thing. Didn't even have the full team out, did he?
Yeah, Crawley were up for it and Leeds didn't look up for it at all.
No. But I think a lot of clubs are going to want to get out of the cups.
Yeah.
Like you see me with Villa, like as I'm saying, people like it's some sort of cop out, but it's not. Get out of all the cups and focus. Because even the congestion that we're going to face now with all the games in hand, like it's better for us not to be in any cups. And then if we are getting fucking like I think
let's be honest, you would have just if you'd have beaten Liverpool, you would have got United in the next round. Like that's nobody wants to go through that cup run. If you beat United, then you get City in the next round. It's like fuck's sake.
Now for clubs like Liverpool, United, that you know are expected to win trophies, will obviously need to staying up. But I'm talking about the Leeds, the West Hams, teams that need to kind of focus on the league more than that, and like staying up or whatever. That is like fair enough. A cup run is good for morale and shit like that. Like, but because with the way the congestion is coming in and all, you don't know if your next game is going to be postponed or not. So, because we have our Man City game has been that we missed out on, rescheduled for the 20th, and then the Newcastle game that we missed out on is rescheduled for the 23rd. So that'll be game on the 20th, game on the 23rd, game on the and then we have another game to. So we're going to be playing like 6 games in 2 weeks. And our squad, we haven't got the squad for that sort. So if you throw a fucking cup game,
you start with injuries and you start sliding down that table.
That's what I mean. So like, I wouldn't hold that against Leeds. But again, Brighton are a tough fucking.
Tough for everyone.
Yeah, they're a tough side to kind of call against.
They played City the other night, I think, was it?
Yeah, they're doing all right.
They went bad. They gave City a good run for what? City won 1-0, didn't they? It was comfortable enough for City. They got a goal early, but the threat was kind of always there from Brighton, and they weren't able to kill off the game. But Brighton, like, they fucking drew with Liverpool there a couple of weeks back as well.
That's what I mean. They're doing well against the better clubs, but how are they doing against the lower clubs?
Well, that's where you fucking have a look at your stats. We saw Leeds. Yeah, they're picking up draws.
That's what I mean. Yeah, but they're draws against good teams, I think.
Wolves, beat by Arsenal. They were unlucky in that game as well.
Yeah.
Draw with West Ham. Draw with Sheffield United. Sheffield United, you know what I was about to do them the other night? Was it Bilbao? No, Bilbao were last night. I think I had them in a double, but I fucking picked someone else that fucked me over. But I was looking at the fucking Sheffield United game against Newcastle. I was like, I fancy them for a win here, and then I think I just didn't do the bet or something, and they fucking won. They did. It was someone got sent off after about 20 minutes. Was it Newcastle he played?
Yeah, Newcastle. Yeah, Newcastle.
Sent off. Someone got sent off. Anyway, fair play to them. Too little, too late, but fair play to them. So anyway, Leeds, Brighton. I don't know. You'd have to see. It's difficult to pick against Brighton. Leeds are cavalier and all, but Brighton are robust. It could go any which way, It could be 0-0.
That's what I mean. It could be a 0-0 or a fucking 3-0 to Leeds, like. Because the thing about Brighton as well, you don't see them scoring more than one goal in a game either.
Mopoy is decent and Prapper is decent. They've a couple of good players, like.
Yeah, but they haven't been scoring many goals, so that's the problem.
Welbeck has been getting a goal here and there.
Yeah, no, but that's like not in the one game though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't fancy a 3-0, but they don't concede goals. You know what I mean? They don't concede 2 or 3 goals in a game. I'd say you're either looking at
1-0 lead,
1-0, 1-1, 2-1 maximum to someone. I think Brighton score. To be honest, I think I'm 1-0, but maybe because Leeds are at home, they might get the 2-1 Leeds or something.
Well, Leeds are just fucking blistering when they go forward as well. Like, so Leeds have got 2-0 up in the first half. Like,
quality players, like. They go
2-1 Leeds. That's a 3 Tera. God.
Burnley, West Ham. West Ham are hard to call at the moment. They're doing well. Burnley, to be honest, Burnley were unlucky against United the other night. Probably a few bad decisions went against them and a bit of a poxy goal, but they've looked better. They've got money into the club now, haven't they? They got a new buyer in the club, a new owner. And it could be a bit of a spend going on, if not now, in the summer. So
yeah, and they've a good manager. I like Sean Dyche as well. So, but yeah, no, I'd go West Ham. Probably 2-0 West Ham.
Yeah, Burnley, in fairness to them, that strike partnership of Woods and what's his name, Barnes, hasn't been fucking happening this year for them. It happened last year, but this year Barnes has no pace and Woods has no pace, and they're getting found out because they're sitting so deep in games. It's like they're not like they used to play off corners and crosses and shit like that. They don't seem to be getting the same width that they used to get last season or in previous seasons. And the likes of Barnes and Woods aren't getting on the ball close enough to goal to do any sort of damage. Like,
Yeah.
Woods getting the ball 30 yards from goal with his back to goal. It's no fucking use.
Yeah, he's kind of Shane Long in it, isn't he?
They stick a ball over the top of Barnes and he's in a foot race with someone who's matching him and he ends up getting kicked around or kicking people around, but it's of no use. You know what I mean? They've no pace up there. It seems like they need a player. Like, you think of Callum Wilson or something in Newcastle.
Yeah.
With that sort of pace, they've nothing like that. So, 2-0 West Ham. What does stats say? Yeah, so lost to United, draw. See, not getting goals. Look, 1 goal. 2 goals there. 1 goal there. Nothing. 1. Nothing. You know, they're just not getting enough goals. Right. Cardiff, Norwich.
That's a toughie because Cardiff are. You kind of have to go for Norwich though, but again, it'll be like even a 1-1. It's tough. It's fucking tough. Like that's why it's cost so much money, I guess. But yeah, I'd say 1-1. But if you want to go Norwich win, I wouldn't be upset about that either.
I think Norwich will win that. Personally, what Cardiff been doing? I don't think they've been amazing, have they? Look, yeah, loss, win, loss.
But they're cunts though. That's the problem with them.
Wickham.
Absolute bleeding acca killers, like so.
Norwich beat them 2-0 a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I find it very difficult to look beyond Norwich winning that now, to be honest.
All right, word. But just remember I said 1-0. That's all I'm saying.
You said 1-0.
I'll say 1-0.
Yeah, I'd say what? Maybe 2-1 or something. Like 2-1 maybe.
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah, as I said, if you wanted to go Norwich, I wouldn't be surprised. But again, it's that sort of fucking match where, because Norwich are bankers, that Cardiff will fucking nick the draw.
It's true, but nah. Watford, Huddersfield. Who did Watford play during the week? They got beaten by.
Check it out, because Huddersfield are starting to do well as well now, aren't they?
Huddersfield have been on a run, yeah.
Well, no. That doesn't look great, but it's a lot better than the previous fucking 5 games. Like,
Yeah, but that was Cup, wasn't it? Plymouth, they got knocked out. Beaten by Reading, then they won. Lost. They beat Watford a couple of weeks ago. But Watford have been.
I'd probably edge towards Watford anyway. Or maybe a draw, actually. Where's Watford in the league?
See that fucking.
Watford are 6th, Huddersfield are 14th.
Yeah, that championship is a fucking.
It's a nightmare. It is.
Nightmare. I'd lean towards Watford now myself, but I'm willing to recognise that it could be any fucking which way. Any which way. What do you think?
I'd go. I'm gonna say 2-0 Watford. There, said it. Anyone in the chat disagrees with that? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah. Bournemouth, Luton. Luton have been on a decent one, have they?
Yeah, Luton are doing all right as well. They're better than expected.
Your Reading, Bristol.
Bournemouth are 3rd, Luton are 14th.
A lot of those turnovers, isn't that where they've been playing each other within. It's like they're doing the loop of games from fucking 3 or 4 games ago. Bournemouth, they got a draw up at Bournemouth. Yeah, so they played Bournemouth a few weeks ago. Reading twice within fucking 2 weeks. Yeah, so they got a draw at Bournemouth a couple of games ago. Bournemouth draw Millwall.
Man, I think you'd have to go with Bournemouth for this one.
Yeah, Bournemouth at home. You'd certainly fancy it.
Maybe a 3-1.
Yeah, why not? 3-1 and Bristol Preston.
Again, this is another tough one because Bristol City are fucking dodgy as well. Remember at the start, they were doing so well. And you're kind of free falling a bit.
Yeah, you can garnish absolutely nothing from those results there. Preston were doing well.
Even in the league, Bristol City are 10, Preston are 12. There's only a point between the two of them.
Would say a draw there.
Even the same goal difference, -1.
Yeah. Don't see any reason why that should change after the weekend.
Would you go 1-1 draw, would you?
Yeah, maybe. Why not? Oi, so golden goal. Who shouts it? Mine?
You go. Yeah, you go, boy.
6 this week. Lucky number 6. We're at 67-1. Is there a 6 extra?
Yes, sir.
There is. Jesus. Don't fucking get me to talk about this bleeding game. To listen to all the United fans fucking coming out of bleeding cupboards or whatever they've been for the last 3 or 4 years. Listen to this.
My feelings on these sort of games is I always go 2-2. Regardless of forms.
You know what? I'd go draw, but I wouldn't go 2-2. And my point being that the last several games they played have all either been 0-0 or 1-1 draws. Like horrendous games. No matter who's in form, no matter fucking what way it is. And let me see if we can pull it up. Literally on the head-to-heads. I'd be surprised if there's been fucking Liverpool United head-to-head. Liverpool won 2-0 the last time they met. And then it was 1-0, 0-0. Liverpool won 3-1. Liverpool won 4-1. Then 2-1 United, 0-0, 1-0, 0-0. That's going back to 2016. Like, they usually tend to be fucking very, very poxy games. Like, because they'll do this big build up now. This is for the, whoever comes out on top will be legit title contenders and all this bollocks, and they build it up and build it up and build up the rivalry, and it'd be a horrendous spectacle. Horrendous.
Yeah.
So
in fairness to them, they're very rarely, as a neutral, they're very rarely
enjoyable.
A great match to watch. Like it's
like say you get Liverpool City. I shit myself in them games. Like literally shit myself. And they're great games. Like I'd love to be a neutral watching them because there's some great football in them. But United Liverpool, horrendous game to watch. I don't even care. I don't want to lose purely for having to listen to United fans fucking shy talk for a couple of days. But other than that, I don't care. The matches are so deplorable. Like, I'd agree with the draw, but I think maybe 1-1 rather than 2-1. That'd be me only.
Yeah, rock away, homie, rock away.
They're normally such dreary affairs, you know what I mean? United might score early and they'll hang on, play cagey. Liverpool won't be able to break them down, and then Liverpool will get a fucking late-ish goal or whatever. It usually goes around that fucking way. Like I fancy Fernandes to score within the first 10 minutes because
from a penalty.
Hocking him up, so a penalty. Pogba will fall over himself or something and get a penalty, and Fernandes will score, and then it'd be fucking United are the best team in the world till Liverpool grab a late equaliser, and then that'll be that. Yeah.
Word. Yeah, the karma gods to come back, because as soon as United go one up, and then all the United fans will be on Facebook giving it loads, and then a model for fucking Liverpool equaliser.
Liverpool equaliser.
Or vice versa. He's about arseholes.
Yeah,
to be honest
but
with you.
it's United. United fans at the moment are out of control. Yeah.
Let them.
I know. Let them. That's what I'm saying. Let them have it. You know what I mean?
It's been a while.
Even if Liverpool were to beat them 3 or 4-0, I wouldn't even gloat about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, would they?
It's like, United are shit. Like, they are shit.
On paper, the team is it's the worst United starting lineup for a long time. I think. Take Fernandes out.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's fucking it. No, Boy is playing well again.
But
he's a good player.
Between the one thing I will say, United have gone for them, and it might not necessarily be the best thing for a team to have gone for them, but it's that their back line has been fairly regular, even though that means that Maguire plays every game, and Luke Shaw plays every game, and Wan-Bissaka plays every game, and it's been kind of Lindelof and Bailly since he's fucking got back, but it's been fairly the same back line every match, and that consistency I think has got them results where they've been playing shite in games, and that 0-0, and just with the amount of firepower they have up front, they're hanging in games to late on, and then they're overpowering the team and getting a goal. Like that 95th minute winner against Wolves, they were on the ropes for about 30 minutes in that second half, and then the game was over, and then they don't know where to get a goal. You know what I mean? So I think that back line has it's kept them in games that they probably wouldn't have kept. Like if say Maguire got injured or something, as shite as he is, the disruption to your back line can cause all sorts of problems. If you keep that consistency in your back line, even if the team's not playing well, you'll pull results out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's been going for them. Obviously, on the flip side, Liverpool are playing two midfielders at centre half, or the young player at centre half, and they've had injuries right across the back, and I think that inconsistency has fucked us over. Like, so yeah, I think
that being said,
they're still shy. There's no question. Bruno Fernandes has been smashing. There's no argument. Pogba has been better. Rashford is still the same Rashford. In flashes, he looks like the best player in the world. He beats 6 players, go around the keeper.
What happened to man Greenwood? He's going to disappear off the scene now as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, since a little incident at England, isn't it? He's kind of gone off the boil a bit.
Yeah.
When he got sent back from Iceland, where Foden has gone the opposite way. Foden's fucking jumped up a level.
Foden is just naturally brilliant. Like he's going to be such a star. Like
but Greenwood in fairness, he looks like he's not putting it in 100%. But the chap is unreal as well. He's a great talent, but he's not there yet.
Yeah, but the problem is that Foden is.
Foden
has the potential, and he's fulfilling it. Every chance he gets, to put him on.
Foden's only problem is that he's at Man City, because at Man City, although he's so good, he's still one down the pecking order from De Bruyne, from Fernandinho, from fucking Bernard Silva.
Yeah, when he gets a show, he gives Pep such a fucking headache.
Yeah, he does it every time he does it. But he's just one. He's one behind Sterling and Mahrez. Still, you know what I mean? He won't.
Personally, I'd put him in ahead of Mahrez.
Next season he won't be. Next season he won't be. You know what I mean?
Any of the lads in the chat, this is a Liverpool United game. Any ideas? Any dig outs? Because Tera's biased, and I hate them both equally. So, any insights? So what was your thinking? United to score first, then? Yeah. So
I think United will be winning at half time, which will, for me, then torment me, because I'll have to listen to fucking Phil Neville talk about how brilliant United are the whole game. Where obviously I'd prefer if Liverpool were 2-0 up and Phil Neville would be fucking having a cry wank the whole way through the game, you know what I mean? So I think United will be winning at half time. That's me personally.
Yeah, so still the winning, isn't it?
Fernandez, I think, all day, isn't it? It's written.
But if it's anybody, yeah, it's gonna be him.
Even having top of the line there. First card.
Maguire.
I'd say
Luke Shaw, maybe. Luke Shaw's an absolute liability.
Yeah.
He's gone away with a few now. He has
I
to
was thinking Henderson maybe as well. Get roiled up and put it trying to lift the game or put in a tackle. But Luke Shaw's come here. How does Luke Shaw stay on the other night?
Shocking.
Did you see that shambles? Like they spent 5 minutes trying to decide how they were going to get Brady sent off and give them a free outside the box, and they just couldn't get around the fact that Luke Shaw had fucking come in late and nearly fucking butchered someone with a straight red. Like,
yeah, it was a bad tackle, like absolutely bad tackle.
It wasn't even that it was a bad tackle; it was so obvious. And they spent 5 minutes looking at Brady took down fucking Cavani. There's no question about it, but that's irrelevant. Down the other end, there was a fucking assault charge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but like how they spend so long and then they give a yellow card, it's like, oh, would you stop? Anyway, yeah, we'd go with probably Shaw.
Yeah, I'd go Luke Shaw. I think he gives the best.
Salah or something. We'd probably fucking. Though we probably get away with it though.
No, I think after that, I think the ref will have a closer look at him, and I think even if he does something that's hit and miss, the card will go against him as some sort of like redemption. That happens. So yeah.
Did you see? Probably didn't, but your man Oliver, when he was reffing the Liverpool Everton game where Pickford fucking chopped fucking Van Dijk into a year-long injury, he actually admitted afterwards that they were completely wrong for not giving him a red card and that they.
Well, yeah, he said they were too focused on the offside or something.
Offside, and he said, well, if it's not offside, I'm giving the penalty.
Yeah.
And because it was offside, then they kind of missed it. It's like, well,
that's. But then he also said, even though it was offside, he still should have given the card, but they didn't.
Yeah. So they admitted they fucked
up.
Also,
fuck the whole Van Dijk team because Liverpool, because they knew that man there off fucking Wolves may never play again because he cracked his skull.
Yeah, did you see him? I seen him the other night.
Not a peep out of the fucking even Sky Sports news and nothing out of them.
That was David Luiz headbutted him. You know what I mean? So what are you gonna say? Sideshow Bob.
You can't. No, but you see the reaction. Like Sky Sports news done a fucking like an hour-long memorial on Van Dijk.
Yeah, no, that
you know what I mean? And then here you have a player that's about to lose his entire career.
I know, yeah, and it's happened to other players before who kind of got forgotten about. But Jimenez, did you see him? He was sitting on the bench, not on the bench, but he was kind of in the stand for who were Wolves playing the other night? Everton.
Yeah.
Everton match. A big fucking scar, big fuck off scar down his head. Like the things about that size on his head.
He might never play again.
Yeah, no. Well, is that what they're saying?
Unless he gets a Petr Cech fucking crash helmet on him. But yeah, it's sad. Hopefully he does make a recovery though, because you hate to see that.
I'm looking at him and saying I'd love Liverpool to buy him. Obviously not now, you know what I mean? But he was a smashing player, and to think it was David Luiz, like clumsy cunt.
Oh, he's absolutely
prick. They don't hear
prick. He is a prick.
Anyway, corners. I don't think there's many corners.
Yeah, less than 7, I'd say.
Yeah. Man of the match, probably looking at Fernandez. If Neville is pundit in it, then it'll definitely be Fernandez.
But how attacking do you reckon you will be? Because you might have to give it to a defender for United, like.
No, because I think we'll have lots of possession. They'll defend kind of resolutely. We won't be able to break them down because we've been struggling to break down teams.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So would it not be United? All right.
I know they find a few flashes of Fernandez where he sets play going forward or he sets something up.
I'm thinking like a Thiago or something for Liverpool. To be honest with you,
I don't know. It will be if Liverpool can open them up. It'll be a Thiago or something.
That's what I mean, yeah. But I just think
Thiago, won't be if Liverpool are playing side to side trying to break them down. There's going to be no standout. Salah's going to be quiet. Mane will be quiet. Firmino will be quiet. And it'd be someone like Fernandez who'll make a tackle inside his own half and play a 30-yard pass out to Rashford who runs into the corner flag, and they'll be just highlighting fucking everything Fernandez does. You know what I mean? That's my complete bias on it. Because I see the way they're building him up now, so they're gonna everything he does, he'll fall over and it'll be, oh, what a back heel. You know, it'll be all this sort of shit. He'll launch the ball clear, and because it lands at someone's foot or within their radius, it'll be what a pass. You know, he'll take a shot from 40 yards and it'll be 6 miles wide, and it'll be what a crossfield pass, nearly. You know what I mean?
But this is what I'm thinking about Thiago, because Thiago his pass rate will be well up there in the percentages. So if Liverpool play does break down, I don't think it'll be through him. I think he'll start it and then it'll break down. Maybe Salah.
Again, you're kind of the objective viewer here, so we can go with.
I'd go with Thiago.
He's definitely going to be playing. There's no doubt about that.
That's what I mean as well. Yeah, so there's that as well, because United could.
There's no doubt about it. He's going to be heavily involved in the game one way or the other. So
I could see him pulling the strings. Yeah, I could see him pulling the strings. I'd go Thiago.
Okay. And I think Liverpool are going to have a hefty chunk of possession for periods of the game, and then United will have a few fucking periods, smaller periods, and it'll even out to about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this will all be for nothing because fucking United win 2-0 or something, or Liverpool will win 3-0.
It'll be 1-1, Liverpool score first. United equalise and we get the rest right.
So we'll do the business on the other end, Fred. We don't need it.
That's true. We've already won the Super 6 at that stage. We're not even here to check this. The podcast's been done.
You never see us again.
Yep.
You actually want to hope we fucking win that, because otherwise we're here to stay, bitches.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey.
Win the money, buy Twitter and close it down.
Fucking, did you see the shit with Jack Dorsey?
Yep.
And the Veritas stuff, yeah?
Yep. Didn't happen though. Oh no, it didn't happen. Perfectly logical explanation as to what he didn't say. He didn't say he was going to bank conservatives. He just like you've seen the shit I did with my page, Tera. You've seen it, idiots.
Yeah, absolutely. See that clown. He came at me on Twitter during the last lockdown about some lockdown bullshit, and I hit him with bang, 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 and he just never responded to anything I said. Kept making up his usual long story short nonsense, 60 different fucking things. None of them had any fucking relative fucking even remotely fucking near what I was talking about. And then there's little jabs. The little jabs in there, like, you cheeky little fucker, like, hold on a fucking minute. First and foremost, you cheeky little fucker. And you unfollowed me on that. So then it was when I noticed that on Facebook last night, and then I tried to tag him, and I tried to, and listen, Sean, whatever. And I couldn't. And when I went onto his page, he'd unfriended me. Like, so what? Block. Get away.
Yeah.
And I don't normally block people. I usually reserve it for just stalkers or whatever, but he deserved the block. It was on 2 platforms. He pulled the same shit. You know what I
mean? Yeah. No, I don't like blocking people, but they're going at the stage now. I just clown them.
Yeah, I know.
I just clown them now.
It was the disrespect from previous that when I remembered it was him, and then when I tried to at him as we went on, I tried to at him and someone was like, "Why can't I tag? I've been able to tag his name in every one of these." I went in, you don't friend me, and I'm like, "Oh, you cheeky little block, fuck you."
Yeah.
Done with you.
Yeah. You got cancelled, Tera. Yeah. He cancelled you.
I wouldn't on me, boy. You cheeky little cunt, like cheeky little cunt. And bollocks talking. I've never seen so much fucking.
And like, it's strange because you're such a good command of English that you attribute intelligence to him.
No, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all distractions.
Yeah, it's not. No, what annoys me the most about him is that everything he accuses me of.
He'll use specific lefty jargon and then say you're using righty jargon. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, everything he accuses me of, he is guilty of.
Yeah,
that's what. So, like, pretty early on, I check out of these conversations and just it was like the other fella with Ron, and I was saying like about the and he's going, "Oh yeah, the right wing media watching." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." It was really Maxine Waters. It wasn't really her. It was Tucker Carlson in blackface wearing a dress. Clearly, that was the right wing media's narrative to push that. That's what it was. that didn't happen. It never all the stuff because you're physically putting up stuff saying, well, here they said this, they done this, this was a part, this was that's right wing media. And I was like, yeah, well, because your media won't, left wing media won't show it. They literally, and when they do, they're showing out
the right wing media, the conservative media, or whatever. Like he said the same thing. I hardly believe that. Whatever you're saying, I hardly believe democratic leaders were on the front line of these protests. And I was like, oh, glad you said that. Ted Wheeler leading the protest on the siege of a federal courthouse, getting tear gassed and all. Like, glad you fucking said that. What do you have to say about that? He goes back and starts like, you obviously don't understand what mostly means, or this pedantic fucking argument.
I know what the funny thing about that is, right? When you responded, he's like, okay, yeah, well, mostly is a bit. So it's like, so you had a go about the mostly. He proved you wrong, and then you're like, going, all right. But and that's the problem is like, you should backtrack on everything.
And then does it, Andy doesn't understand what the word mostly break. You know what I mean? It's like, you cheeky little prick. You've already been bodied on that topic anyway. Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? When he unfriended me after that, I was like, not that I don't normally get into them arguments. That's why I was just kind of like, man, I'd love to see your evidence on this, because literally I posted one meme and off the back of that I was a right-wing agitator linked to fucking Auschwitz wearing fucking t-shirt wearers at the Capitol Hill fucking protests, you know?
And you know what's funny about that, right? What's funny about that is you'll always get, if you're on, like, say, defending Trump or whatever, they will automatically come in and put you with the worst of the worst, right? They connect you to that, but they don't connect themselves. So if you say, all right, well, what about this Antifa guy that's going around and shooting that Trump supporter in the head for no reason? Is that you? Oh, of course that's not me. You're being ridiculous. And like, well,
no, that never happened. Antifa doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, but you know what I mean? Like, so they'll attribute you to the war side of this, but they won't attribute themselves to the war side of that. Like,
I genuinely don't have a horse in this race. I kind of like Trump, but I'm not, like, he was calling me Republican fucking part.
Yeah,
like I kind of like Trump. I don't care for Republicans or Democrats. The whole two.
My thing is, I'm not pro-Trump. I'm anti-Trump. I like Trump more than the Democrats, because one thing about Trump is, even though he has so many character flaws, he's honest, even if he's lying, or well, like. He believes what he's saying is correct, even if it's not, right?
I think he explains things incorrectly.
Yeah. So he acts like he knows what he's talking about, and he doesn't, and he makes a fool of himself. Yeah. Whereas the Democrats and the left and all are so insidious and, underhanded, and it's so frustrating that these people can't fucking see that. Like, and then like, if Trump says something, it's straight on the offense against them. But when it's the other side, there's always a logical explanation.
Like your man Sean said, what president has what did he say? What president has indicted what he I can't remember exactly.
It's been impeached twice, is it?
No. He all his cronies, he removed their indictments or something like that. And I was basically like, what evidence have you got that he's gone and done that? He hasn't gone and wiped fucking people's, like, he done it for one or two people where they were under indictments and he removed them. He used presidential fucking one or two incidents, and it was like every crony criminal since he's been in office, he's let them off the hook. That's kind of like, whoa, you're jumping to it. It's like your argument.
See, one of them in there would be Michael Flynn. Now, Michael Flynn was.
Yeah, there was another guy.
Michael Flynn, and the other fella is Roger Stone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the two of them. So there's two, but he said every criminal crony he let off the hook. You're saying as if like he let 30 or 40 people off the hook who were criminals and should have been in jail. That's the assumption you're making, and you're like, well, no, there's no evidence of that. But you can jump to an exaggeration if you're a lefty. But on the other side, it'd be like, well, there was mostly peaceful. You know what I mean? It's like,
or you can say, well, what about the people in the Biden campaign who bailed out BLM protesters, and not the peaceful protesters?
yeah,
It wasn't the people who were arrested for sitting down, because they weren't arrested for sitting down. They were moved on, probably manhandled. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, like but they weren't arrested, and they weren't they weren't arrested. The ones that were arrested were the ones who were being violent, burning down shit, stealing, and the Biden campaign and all the lefties bailed them out. They go-funded to bail them out. But you can't talk about that. Oh, that's clearly different. And I was like, but is it though?
Even the whole thing about like fucking Trump's court case. Oh yeah, his court case. Sure, he lost 60 court cases. Like, he didn't lose 60. You go into how many of them were actually his. There was a small percentage of them.
I think it was 3 that was directly with Trump, and then
but then they're talking about, oh no, with his lawyers, and they're like, well, Sidney Powell wasn't his lawyer. You know,
no. See, Trump put a tweet in saying my team, and he posted her in it.
No, but
but that is unequivocal evidence that she is definitely. Even though they came out
and then you have
said afterwards she's not.
But you have a video of someone committing voter fraud. No, that's not evidence. Like, you know what I mean? It's So it's the levels to it. But the glaringly obvious problem in this whole thing for me, right here, right now, is we can't even discuss this. What we're doing now is ban censorship.
Yeah,
you're not allowed.
No, it's not. No, it's not. There's no bias. There's no Twitter bias. What are you talking about?
No. We're banned because we're not towing the narrative. That's it.
Yeah, wrong thing. We're guilty of wrong thing. That's what it is. It's the purge.
That's the problem. That's the biggest problem there. You know what I mean? We can have these discussions, but now you're going up. These people have so much ammunition behind them because they believe they're on the right side of it, with government supporting what they say, with big tech supporting what they say, with media supporting what they say. So when they come out with their arguments, it doesn't matter that there's vast amount of evidence to the contrary. They're on the right side, so they can repeat the rhetoric that they're told in media and told by big tech, and you haven't got a platform. And if you don't like it, just go somewhere else with it, but we'll shut down everywhere else, so you can't go anywhere else with it.
Just go start an internet somewhere else. Like.
Yeah, this is... You didn't start the internet. You don't own it. These big tech, they don't own the internet. They are just a small portion of it.
And all they're doing is pushing it.
And it's been shown, but it's been shown, Red, because like literally in the last week, WhatsApp looks like they're fucked. Twitter looks like they're fucked. Facebook are plummeting. They're hemorrhaging money at the moment. YouTube is in trouble in terms of advertisement and money and all that. Like, there's waves of people moving away.
Yeah.
Like, it was that Gab yoke I sent you, they're literally saying that Silicon Valley, like, they're inundated with fucking CVs from all these people looking to jump ship from Google and all. Because they see, you know what I mean? They see what the trends are. If you shut down one side of the discourse, what happens? Not only everyone who would have argued or discussed topics moves to a different platform, everyone that's left on that platform has nothing left to talk about. What did he do? Sing Kumbaya and pat each other on the back? We did it.
It's an echo chamber, but that's what they want. They want to go, oh, I'm right, and you're right. We're both right, aren't we? They're wrong, but we're all right. Oh my God, that's what it is. Like,
yeah, but without, because they're driven by visceral and aggression and fucking we need to take it. So when they've no one to bounce that back off, what did he do? They'll venture out off Twitter to find other areas that they can lock down and take down. You know what I mean? So they'll try and go onto the parlors and the Gabs and all these places and start causing trouble there. Like, so what happens? Twitter's fucked. Everyone leaves.
And I wouldn't even mind as well. So when you think back of it, the reasons as well for like the incitement and like, you know, the planning of, you know, violence, and it's like that all happened on Facebook and Twitter. So see the way you got rid of Parler. Like the 12 people that were arrested, none of them even had Parler accounts. Like they were all Twitter and Facebookers. So anything, and that even goes for the left. The BLM riots, the Antifa riots, and all organised through Twitter and Facebook.
Did you see the shit?
So if their reason for getting rid of all the Parler and all these people is that reason, But
Yeah, it's because they won't fucking mediate it or whatever.
they have to get rid of their own platforms, and I'm not going to do it.
Did you see in Uganda, Twitter came out and said Uganda basically a couple of days before their elections shut down social media.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, yeah.
Social media was willfully inciting. What would they say? Like, meddling within their voting, and they shut them out. And like fucking Jack Dorsey, Twitter and all coming out and going, "Oh, we believed in the sanctity of the." The internet is a place where people, the minds to come together and discourse and all this, and the protection of freedoms and all. It's like, you literally just took down fucking Trump and hundreds of thousands of accounts linked to QAnon and shit like that, and you're talking about the sanctity of free speech, like, like it's literally.
I think they're trolling at this stage. Like,
it's like Hitler standing up there pontificating about humanity and humanitarian affairs with gas and Jews behind them. You know what I mean? It's like.
But that's another gas thing as well. Excuse the pun.
Hey.
I think it was Deutsche Bank have basically disowned Trump and says they're not going to deal with Trump anymore. These people literally funded Hitler. Like, I'm not sure if it's Deutsche Bank, but it's one of those. It's one of those banks.
IBM coming out and saying, we were against Trump. It's like, you cunts printed the records to keep people in gas chambers and count how many were being killed and all. You know what I mean?
Hugo Boss will come out and they designed or they made the bleeding the Nazi outfits and shit. It's just so funny. It doesn't and again, people.
But when you control the narrative, when you control the narrative, you can do this sort of Orwellian doublethink, and it's nothing. It brushes off you like.
Well, it's not that. It's because you have the Seans of the world out there that will completely ignore it and just go, yeah, but them. And then when you have the argument, they go, oh, but all you ever do is, oh, yeah, look at the dams. You never. I was like, literally, it's what you do. No, I'm not like that.
Well, the whole thing on that status was you were bringing up the bias of the left, and all that he did was feed into the bias.
Yeah.
He basically laid it bare. You know what I mean?
Ron didn't address there's the actual quotes, and that's not only four. You can throw AOC, that absolute fucking lunatic. Easily one of the dizziest cunts. Should not be she's not smart enough to be a politician.
Orange is saying that are like they must be clones of each other from the same fucking equestrian centre.
No, but AOC is wrong 95% of the time.
No, for the bill, what did you say for that bill? The fucking bill, was it the stimulus bill? She basically came out and said, this is ridiculous. We only had 1 hour to look over 15,000 pages of a stimulus bill that had blah, 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 blah. I can't believe they brought this to the floor. To expect anyone to vote on this is criminal, blah, blah, blah. And then the first comment underneath was like, yeah, but you voted, yeah.
Yeah. And then even Pelosi, when she's on Twitter, she's talking about getting rid of Pelosi and then voted her for her to be head speaker. So that's what I'm saying. But you can't. Trump does that, and it's headlines. These people do it, and there's a perfectly logical explanation as to why they did it. And you're just saying it because
you get a career politician. So when you swim in the water with sharks, the other sharks don't complain. You know what I mean? But you get fucking a killer whale in there with Trump. You know what I mean? The sharks start complaining about everything. But did you see today? Now, it might be much ado about nothing. It might be a whole lot of coincidence, but the Dutch government basically stepped down. Now, it was over a child protection scheme where they targeted a load of about 16,000 people who were receiving child benefit payments, and basically said they committed fraud and forced them with no legal recourse to repay all the money they'd received, even though they quite clearly and evidently didn't commit any fraud and were entitled to the money. But they targeted dual membership, so mostly foreign, I'd say it's probably Turkish and stuff like that. So they got caught, and this scandal has been running on, but the government basically dissolved today. And at the same time, Angela Merkel stepped down.
Did she? Yeah.
Yeah. The Estonian Prime Minister stepped down under fraud and criminal charges. The Italian government looks like it's about to collapse. the Kuwaiti government stepped down. So this is all today, like. So I don't know whether any of it's connected or not. I won't go into what I was reading that was connecting them, but
Say that tomorrow. We do. So we do. I think tomorrow we do a podcast and we just go balls deep in the conspiracy. You can just kind of have had it, and then I'll tell you whether I think it's bollocks or not.
well, see, to go down that road, you need to bring up the topics that you want to discuss. And if we discuss the likes of QAnon or anything like that, we probably get fucked off. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, but it was just interesting that literally all today now there's perfectly logical explanations for all of them, apparently.
Yeah.
But for Merkel to go the same day that the Dutch, and it's all for corruption and shit like that. I don't know why Merkel stepped down.
But do you think the Merkel thing is because I remember last week seeing that Merkel came out not in defense of Trump, but in the defense of basically saying that it's bad that they've did it because free speech is important and it's dangerous. And so she kind of didn't go against it. Yeah, it's good that Trump is off because he incited violence, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we had to do that. Was there a link there, do you reckon? Because I was surprised when she came out and said it, but she did.
Yeah.
And now hearing that she's had to step
Yeah, I don't know. But you link that in with there was massive blackouts across the world the other day. One in Vatican City, and there was another big one in Palestine. What's Pakistan, and fucking a few other places around the world. There was big blackouts and all. Like, yeah, I don't know. There's shit brewing though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something's happening. And how do you feel? Do you feel guilty about being responsible for the mother and baby homes?
Yeah, cause like that's 100% on me. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was unaware of it, and obviously my toxic male, white privilege didn't allow me to stop that sort of thing from happening. So,
but the way people are kind of like so going mad about it, and I'm like, this is the government you love. This is your lockdown government. You love these guys. Remember the cervical cancer? None of it happened. So
like for instance,
keep agreeing with them.
Thing in Holland, the government literally said, we've a tax deficit. We need money. So let's go and target these people who are on benefits, claim that they committed fraud, force them to repay all the benefits, and give them no legal recourse or no way out. And they picked 16,000 people at random and just stole money from them. But when they tell you that lockdowns are good and we're only interested in your health, we're trying to save your life, you believe them.
Lockdowns are bad again now, aren't they? Like
I don't know. I was seeing people trying to BS that.
Yes, but some lefty media came out and said it.
But like the school report from Stockholm or from Sweden that came out, they've been open, schools open the whole way through it. There's been no issues with fucking. There's been no excess in teachers or teaching staff getting sick than any other occupation. No kids have died. No kids have died whatsoever. You know what I mean? And they've kept schools open. They haven't had a mask mandate. They've encouraged people to wear masks where they think necessary and follow saying like Susie was saying. But like literally the evidence speaks for itself. It speaks for itself with masks. Like everywhere they've implemented masks, it's literally been a jump in cases. You know what I mean? There's just no evidence. You have decades worth of scientific analysis of, you know, season. Like I was thinking about it today, right? Think about when we locked down all last year and this year, and when we opened up. We locked down in flu season. We opened up at the end of flu season, and we locked back down coming into the new flu season. And then they'll use, oh, well, when we opened up when it was safe to do so because we got the numbers down through the lockdown. And then as the cases started to rise again, we locked back down again. But it coincides exactly with the flu season every year. So as the flu season kicks in, we lock down, and the excuse is, oh, look, the numbers are going up. It's like,
no such thing as flu season anymore because flu is gone. But you see the new law they brought out today. So now, basically, for the stay-at-home workers, it's the onus is now on the company to prove that their workers can't work from home. So whereas, like, if you're like if you're if you want to work from home and your company wants you to come in, you're kind of screwed. Even though, in other words, the government is saying if you can work from home, you must work from home. But companies are saying, no, look, we want you to come in. But now the government will come out and says, no, there's a law now that the onus is on the company to say that if these people can't work from home, you have to explain why they can't work from home. And what that says is that these lockdowns aren't going fucking anywhere. Anywhere. Because if it's like only to the end of January or the end of February,
every
you don't need to
law
bring in
now
new laws.
has been extended till like the end of June and then next June and all. And like the new what was it? The fucking they renewed the private hospitals and further hospital fucking acquisitions for 12 months. So like they
have no intentions of closing down the lockdowns or stopping lockdowns, ending lockdowns, and this is keep telling people, and this is we just keep saying to the people when they keep saying like, oh well, if you just wear your mask and this, well then we can always like make no intention of stopping this. You can do whatever you can go home, cocoon in your gaff, border up your house. Do not leave your gaff for fucking 3 months. If every single person in this country did that, they still will have lockdowns. It's not. It's part of the, like. They've no intention of fucking stopping the lockdowns. In fact, they're bringing legislation that will allow them to further it.
Like the WHO, who were holier than thou, and they followed fucking everything that the WHO said to a T, have said lockdowns don't work and aren't necessary. You know what I mean?
They've ignored
it. Did you see in Italy? So I think it's from today, maybe tomorrow. I think it's up to 70,000 restaurants. It was 30,000, but then the latest one I seen was 70,000 restaurants are opening up in breach of the lockdowns. They've just said, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, but you don't do that over here, though. We're probably the most.
The government over there have pleaded with the police to enforce it, and the police have basically said, nothing we can do. And I think Poland, they've done something similar. And there was another country they've done something similar as well. Where
we'll never do that over here. We will never. We are the biggest.
The only place in the world that the pubs have been closed for nearly a year. The only place in the world pubs have been closed for nearly a year. Bitches, the Vintners Association. If I was a publican now, I would fucking remove that Vintners Association. I would never fucking be involved in it ever again. They let us down completely.
Yeah, but so did they. Like, you don't need them. Like all the the gym owners, and they bring all the gym owners bottled it, fucking bottled it. Like we have this. One of the countries in the world. We used to be feared.
The one thing I will say about gyms, Red, is the majority of gyms in Ireland are branch owned, and the branches will never they'll never do.
No. I understand that. But I'm just saying, as an example, like there's no backbone in anybody in Ireland anymore. It's a perfect example. Is the mother and baby home thing, right? So where that came out with. Like the reason that even was a thing was because of the shame that was put on people, mothers that young girls that had baby out of wedlock, the shame that the Irish people were putting on, and now it's exactly the shame they're putting on people that don't wear a mask and we're just so susceptible to that way of thinking that like we're doomed. We're fucking, as a country, we are doomed. We used to be the fighting Irish, and it's that them days are fucking long gone. And now you have a government.
We're the frightened Irish now.
Yeah, exactly, the frightened Irish. Because do you think that if we all at the start were saying fuck your mask, fuck your bleeding lockdowns, blah blah blah, that prick would have stood there and blamed the Irish people for the mother and baby homes? If we had any sort of fight on us, do you think that he would have the balls to stand up and do that? Not a fucking hope, but he knows. He knows that.
What exactly did he say?
I don't remember the exact quote, but it was like
as a rule of thumb, I ignore all Irish media. I will not pay attention to it. I don't read fucking any of their propaganda. I don't read any of the nonsense. So it's only if I come across it, I see a decent article pop up, I'll read it. But otherwise, I don't go looking for it. So I'm aware that it's coming out at the moment, but I didn't read any of the releases or who said what. I'm assuming you're talking when you say he, you mean Micheál Martin as well, is it?
Yeah, Micheál Martin, yeah. So he came out, I'm trying to find the right quote here where he says, Fuck. Do you know what? I don't know if I have fat fingers, but or it's just these stupid keyboards. But every time I go to hit the space bar, I always press .com and I have to retype fucking everything again.
Hit the stop button. Yeah, you got fat fingers.
Right, so here's the apology in full. I have to fucking.
He apologised, did he?
Oh, they come out. Yeah, they're doing a but it was an apology, but it's not. It wasn't the state's fault, and it wasn't. You can't blame the state or the Catholic Church. It was everybody's fault. We were all to blame.
Right. Dead air.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
I was trying to get Jamie on for tonight, but he fucked up his back. Poor little homies in bits he is. Fucking he said he rescheduled for next week, but I think we might fucking have the chats tomorrow. I don't know. We said the quarters or something if he wants to jump on.
Yeah. So what about Jamie?
Huh?
Jamie?
I can ask him again. Yeah, he just said he was in bits. He's been out of work fucking all week with his back. Said, welcome to our world, young homie. But yeah, no, I'll show it to him. If not, we do some conspiracy chit chats tomorrow.
Yeah, it was like the shame was not ours, it was all of ours or something he says, like.
Speak for your fucking self.
Yeah. Hold on, wait a Google it.
Yeah, we pull up the article tomorrow, we can have a chat on it, you know what I mean?
I can't fucking find it. I only read it earlier, I was having a shy.
What do you make of Khabib in with fucking Dana White today?
Yeah, I think you come back. I think you just.
Well, the early report was saying there, Dana was saying that it looks like he's going to relinquish his belt, and the only fight that he'll come back for would be GSP. And I think GSP said during the week if he was to fight Khabib, it would have to be at a catch weight, and obviously the money would have to be right. So it's looking like Khabib doesn't want to fight. He's not interested in fighting McGregor or anything like that, but he'll come back and fight GSP. So if he relinquishes his belt and it's not for a belt, I don't know, Dana might give him the fight against GSP at whatever weight they want, because it'll be just a super fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But again, do you want to watch that fight of GSP? Like, GSP, great fighter, but like that fight, fucking 5 years ago.
Do you know what? At the moment, I'm like, I'd love to see fucking Usman and Khabib. Love to see Khabib against someone who sniffs jocks the same way he does.
No, I'd like to see him give Conor another knock.
He's not going to. I don't think so. And
I know. But I think if he wants to come back,
I can kind of see why the negativity that's going to bring. And he's got one over on McGregor. You're a mouth. I got one over on you, and I'm not going to give you the opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be a cunt now. And
look, I understand. I get that. But if I was told,
you could see in McGregor's interview the other day, as soon as he brought up Khabib, like, he was calm, collected the whole way through. As soon as he brought up Khabib, you could see he's like, he scurried away. You know, you can see
elephant in the room. Like
that one, he knows he's not going to get it back, and it's going to haunt him for the
rest. But the thing about McGregor is, though, right? He's that arrogant and egotistical that he will basically take a win out of the fact that Khabib is afraid to fight him.
Yeah.
You know, Habib is afraid to give him a second.
Probably, but he'll want that back, and because he doesn't get it, Habib will always have one up on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but he has the perfect retort where it's
but that's the mind games. That's the level of mind games you're at. So
yeah, but when you're against McGregor's
I don't know how official the thing with Dana White was, but it seemed to be that he was talking about relinquishing the title or something. So.
See, look again. I just thought he was just emotional, and it's understandable. But he's
honest, you know what I can see happening, right? he doesn't need to make a decision now because, let's be honest, he can let McGregor and Poirier fight. And if McGregor and Poirier fight and McGregor wins, say, and then they do maybe the winner of Chandler and Hooker, or maybe if Gaethje fights Oliveira and they do the winner then fights for the title, and say McGregor, that happens during the summer or something, and McGregor wins that, and then he might go off and do something else or try and go off and do. At that point, Khabib can come back at that point and say, all right, you want me to come back? McGregor's won a few fights. He's a worthy contender now. Now I'll fight. You know what I mean? He doesn't.
I don't know. I don't think Khabib wants to fight him again.
He might not, but what I'm saying is, in a year's time, if McGregor was to say win one or two, say he wins this fight, the next fight he wins the belt, and then maybe he defends his belt, then he could be a worthy champion.
You know what would be good for McGregor, right? So I think what a good way to get McGregor in, considering Khabib was so fucking adamant on getting Dana to call him the best pound for pound. So if McGregor comes back,
McGregor come out and do that.
I think if McGregor can come back,
I've defended his title more than you have.
You know what I mean? Win. There you go.
I'm still here. I don't know if Red's gone, but basically, that Red said there, he was probably wrong. So I'm just gonna say I was right. And
sorry, the internet had a bit of a shite misjobs. So if
what are you saying, Red?
Sorry, the internet peeled all over myself. If the way Khabib wanted Dana White to kind of basically say he's the best pound for pound, so if McGregor can beat Poirier, I can't fucking say his name. Poirier.
Poirier. What's it, like French or something, isn't it?
I don't know. Dustin, if you go batter Dustin, and then go on and beat either Gaethje or Oliveira or whatever, and then say to Dana, call me the best pound for pound in this way, yo.
Yeah.
That is something like that. Yeah, something like that could make him go.
To be honest, you probably see with McGregor at that point want to fight Usman or something at 170 and go for a third belt and be like, now I'm the champ. So now I am the best of all time. Yeah, like
go for what Khabib was saying. So I think, for me personally, I think that's the best way to do it.
Khabib has never gone up in weights. He's always fought like he's big for lightweight. He's never gone up and tested himself, which is why I think even with all this talk, like if John Jones was to go to heavyweight and beat Francis Ngannou, there's no even discussion who the best of all time.
No. Look, I'm not even saying to make it legit. I'm just saying for
ego.
Because in fairness to Khabib, it's the only kind of level of ego that he has displayed. He's very humble, but the fact that he wanted to be called so if McGregor can kind of take that from him, and then McGregor has that, and even if Dana plays along and he's like, well, look, you've jumped through, 3 different weight groups, you've dominated, you've only lost, maybe 2 fights or whatever it is, or 3 fights out of X amount. I know Khabib's lost none, but you've lost at different weights, but you've also won at different weights, and you've dominated, and you were the champ, and so yeah, I'm going to put you down as the pound for pound. That's the sort of thing that the only ego Khabib has shown is that. So maybe if you go with that angle.
Again, that kind of plays into what I'm saying is I don't think Khabib needs to make the decision now. I think even for him to relinquish his belt doesn't necessarily mean that fight won't happen, because he can sit back for a year and let all these fighters fight each other. And at the end of it, if McGregor's won 2 or 3 fights and he's the champion again, are you telling me that they won't make the rematch while McGregor's the champion? Like, unless McGregor was to do the ultimate fuck and get to the point where Khabib says, right, I want to come back and fight him, and he goes, nah, it's cool, I'll go fight Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah. Or say, yeah, look, you come back, but you have to fight 2 people to show me that you're willing.
Hold his belt up for a year or 2.
Well, I don't think McGregor would do that, though, because I think he wants to fight. I don't think he'd want to jeopardize it. I reckon if Khabib is like, I fight McGregor, he'll be on the phone to them saying, set that up tomorrow. Get that written down. Get that contracted, you know what I mean?
Anyway, I think next week we'll do a dedicated segment on the fight. build up.
When is this? It's the fight next weekend, isn't it? Next Saturday.
Saturday. So you have this Saturday is Max Holloway, Calvin Cater. It's actually early card as well. I think it's kicking off at like 3:00 or something. So
it's not early.
Well, like the main card could be at like 7:00, so you might still be awake for fucking Max Holloway at 9:30, 10:00 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think Wednesday is fairly similar. That's Chiesa and what's his name? Fuck, who's Chiesa fighting again? The long, skinny black fella. What's his name? Shit, it's gone completely from my head. But yeah, McGregor's one is on at like 5 or 6 in the morning, man. Neil Magny. Fucking hell, went completely from my head. Yeah, I think the McGregor fight is probably about 5:30, 6 in the morning, which is a cunt of a time.
I got to set your alarm in the morning. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, I'll go to bed and get.
Oh, no, can you though? Because the Dana, you were saying Dana had something for the illegal downloaders.
I think that's just him having a little whinge at him to catch a few people.
Before we go, actually, so apparently the venue has been picked and locked in for AJ Fury.
Oh,
and apparently they're both looking to make 100 mil each.
Wasn't it? Who was it? Fucking, it wasn't Eddie Hearn. It was your man, the other fella, Bob Arum. He came out and said it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is Wilder not getting his fucking trilogy?
Wilder's got. See, Wilder made the mistake of opening his fucking mouth. So Wilder lost, and he like. The problem is, right, that like in America, obviously when you had your Tysons and your fucking Lennox Lewis's and stuff like that and all, the States was where the heavyweight champion of the world was. Now it's Britain. So all Wilder had to do was just kind of, okay, say we need to go for the trilogy. We have to fight the trilogy. Oitigo won the first one. The ref gave him too long on that knockdown, whatever. Tyson won the second round. We have to go. But the way he came out when he was saying that he's fucking big man, drugged them and stuff like that and all. So he's actually had to talk himself out of contention. Nobody wants to see that.
I know. But what they're saying was there's a legal requirement. It's in the contract.
Yeah, but wasn't that
saying he's going to sue Fury?
But I think there was a time limit on that it had to be. Yeah, I think it had to be done.
Yeah, no, but they were going to court saying that because of the coronavirus and all that, there would be an extension on that because they weren't able to fight.
I don't think they were getting that. No, I
didn't hear the outcome of that. So
I don't think there has been an outcome, but I think it's
only one fight that anybody wants to see, and it's been the fight everybody wants to see for years, and it's AJ against fucking Fury, and that's it.
And I think as well, I think even if it does turn out that the time limit hasn't lapsed on it and he does have to fight it, I reckon the AJ and Tyson will agree, or Fury will agree that regardless of the outcome, look, just go fight him, and then regardless of the outcome, don't even try, let him beat you. It
doesn't matter, you say that, but if Wilder knocks him out in fucking 2 rounds or something.
Yeah, but it's like let him beat you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no, not really. But if that's the understanding, and then it's out there as because you know what Tyson Fury's like. Tyson Fury came out and say that.
Yeah, but it takes the steam out of it. Like
it doesn't in the way that like if people know, right, Fury has this is not a fight. This is a contractual obligation. So what Fury's going to do is he's going to go in and win, lose. He's not even going to train that hard for it. So he may lose the fight. He doesn't care because we just have to get it out of the way. I think people will, especially be like if it was AJ, it'd be a bit harder because people love Fury more. So
I know, but you can't look at what happened with Tony Ferguson with Khabib. I was like, well, just get in there and fight Justin, and then the Khabib fight will happen later, and then Justin dismantles him, and it's like wasn't that like just do it until like. No, it's like,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's going to happen because we've tried to do it so many times. We're going to do it. Just go in and fight the next contender. But it's going to happen. And then when he loses, it's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? And it can't happen. Like, if Wilder got in there...
People still want to see the Ferguson.
No.
You know what I mean? As well as that,
that was something McGregor said.
He trained for Khabib. So
yeah.
I think that there's a leeway
McGregor
there.
Said was the way he scurried away. He said... you know, he had an obligation, no matter what the result, to fight Tony because they agreed to do it. And he's after scurrying away and not giving him his opportunity. You know what I mean? And I do kind of agree with that because Tony, well, he got done by Oliveira as well. But again, like he survives that armbar and he's basically one arm for the other 2 rounds. And Oliveira just sat on top of him. He dominated him, but without really dominating him. And it's probably the same thing that would happen under Khabib. But
yeah, I think Khabib would beat him. Don't get me wrong, I think Khabib would beat Ferguson.
From what you've seen in the last 2 fights, his stand-up didn't live up to a good striker in Gaethje, and his ground game didn't stand up to not a wrestler, but a really strong jiu-jitsu practitioner in Oliveira. So Khabib would probably beat him. But I do still feel that Khabib should have maybe gone, look, I don't care. None of these other contenders impress me. I don't want to fight McGregor again. I beat Poirier. I beat Gaethje. There's no one else there but Tony Ferguson. And I think Dana would have gave him that fight. Especially before he fought maybe Oliveira. He would have said, look, me and Tony still have to do it. And I think Dana would have done that fight. And it would have been our respect. You know what I mean? That Tony.
Yeah. But I think Khabib just didn't do it out of emotion from his dad. So I do think there's a...
Yeah, but he's not coming back and saying, look, the only fight that interests me is Tony. He's saying, no, there's no fights out there that interest me. It's like, but you and Tony have to kind of run it back. You tried to do it 5 times. Each time you were supposed to do it is because the 2 of you were the best at that time and had to meet. And it never happened. So just because he's not the best at this time and you were, that fight, it's like McGregor if he was to turn around and say, nah, I'm not going to give Nate the trilogy. He's always kind of said, look, that fight with Nate will always be there. I'll always do it. Because I owe him that fight. He beat me, I beat him, I owe him the trilogy. No matter how...
Hardy Diaz is back as well.
Yeah, he's saying 5, they're talking about a 5 for him. But Felder said it wasn't him. I think they're looking at Gaethje and Oliveira. I'd like to see him and Gaethje now. That'd be a nice knock. But they were saying it wasn't... Well, obviously Hooker and Chandler.
Maybe a Masvidal rematch, no?
No, they won't do that. Jesus, no. So they're looking at who are they looking at? Masvidal and Covington. So that's got to happen.
That'd be a good knock.
Because they were saying maybe RDA against Nate, but they've already fought.
Covington and
Masvidal. They're trying to make that.
Masvidal would be a good fight.
They're trying to make that for ages because they're old teammates. They're bad blood there, like. But I'm thinking your man Makhachev could be Khabib's mate and Nate Diaz. I think that's what they might be trying to do.
Wouldn't that be a good knock as well?
Heard it here first.
Right, I'm going to have the leg of that.
And what's the crack tomorrow? How are you fixed though? Well, sure, here we'll jump off. Peace out, everyone. We'll jump on tomorrow and do some other chats. And go fuck yourselves.
We may have a guest, we may not. Tune in.